Hi everyone, welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. My name is Artem, and here is the news. 807 days less the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Russian forces launched an offensive in the Kharkiv region yesterday morning. During a briefing with Slovak President Zuzana Chaputova, President Volodymyr Zelensky confirmed that Russian troops had launched a new wave of offensive actions in Kharkiv Oblast, reports Suspilne. He stressed that Ukrainian troops met them there. The president said that Russians could increase and bring in more forces on this front, but the Ukrainian military and command knew about this and prepared their forces to meet the enemy with fire. Zelensky also said that a fierce artillery battle is currently underway. Ukraine's Ministry of Defense informed that reserve units have been sent to the north of Kharkiv Oblast, reports Ukrainska Pravda. According to them, the enemy carried out airstrikes on the Vovchansk front using guided aerial bombs over the past 24 hours. As night fell, the Russian invaders, backed by artillery, increased fire pressure on the forward line of Ukraine's defense and attempted to break through under the cover of armored vehicles. Later in its report for the day, the General Staff informed about 5 Russian attacks in the region. These were near the settlements of Krasne, Morokhovets, Olynnikove, and Hatyshne in Kharkiv Oblast. According to the media sources among the military, Russian forces managed to enter 4 border villages in Kharkiv Oblast. These are the settlements of Strilecha, Krasne, Pylna, and Borisivka. The fighting is ongoing there. The Russians are attempting to march towards Vovchansk. Ukrainska Pravda's sources have not, however, ruled out the possibility that this is a diversionary tactic on the part of the Russians. Meanwhile, Ukraine's defense forces are doing all they can to counteract Russia's intentions to advance, shelling the Russian forces with artillery. Judging by intercepted communications, the Russians are bemoaning their losses. They are regrouping and gathering forces, creating separate assault groups. President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky, in his evening video address, informed that the main topic of the day for him was the situation in the Kharkiv region. He said that Russian troops tried to expand their operations against Ukraine, but Kyiv understood the size of the occupiers' forces and saw their intentions. Quote, "Our warriors, our artillery, our drones are retaliating against the occupier. I am grateful to each of our soldiers, each sergeant, each officer who are defending our positions in exactly the way it is necessary," unquote. According to the head of state, Ukraine is adding more forces to Kharkiv direction, both along the state border and along the entire front line. John Kirby, White House National Security Communications Advisor, said that the US anticipates Russian forces to continue pushing as part of their latest offensive attempt in the north of Kharkiv region, but does not anticipate major breakthrough, reports Radio Liberty. According to him, Russian forces were preparing for this push during a lengthy delay in approving more support for Ukraine in Congress. The White House expects that Russian forces would intensify the fire and shift more troops, attempting to establish a small buffer zone along the Ukrainian border. He claimed that the US is sure that the influx of military aid will allow Ukraine to withstand these attacks in 2024. Meanwhile, US President Joe Biden signed a decree on 10th of May to provide Ukraine with military aid worth up to $400 million, reports Interfax Ukraine. This includes the provision of weapons from US Army warehouses. Later, the Pentagon disclosed more details on the package of support, reports Ukrinform. In particular, the US will provide additional ammo for Patriot and NASAMS air defense systems, Stinger anti-aircraft missiles, more HIMARS systems with ammunition, 155mm and 105mm artillery shells, and equipment for integrating Western launchers, missiles, and radars with Ukrainian systems. The Pentagon will send Bradley infantry fighting vehicles, M113 armored personnel carriers, anti-mine vehicles with ambush protection, and trailers for hauling heavy equipment, as well as TOW missiles, Javelin and AT-4 anti-tank systems, high-precision aviation ammunition, HARM missiles, small arms and ammunition, explosive ammunition and demining equipment, coastal and river patrol boats, and means of chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear protection. Thank you for listening to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast. We're a commercial initiative of just two people, and we need your help to grow. Share information about the podcast, rate us in the app, subscribe to our Patreon. With your support, we are getting better. We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine.